That's your,
Push the wrong issue, I'm on.
okay.
You're a noisy group, all good?
Yeah.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the applicants, staff, board members, members of the public. This is the July 1st, 2025 meeting of the City of Bangor's Planning Board. It is 7 o'clock. My name is Reese Perkins, Chairman of the Board. Other board members in attendance this evening include Ted Brush, Vice Chair Jonathan Boucher, Tricia Hayes, Ken Hume, and Janet Jonas. City staff members in attendance this evening include Planning Officer Anya Collette, Director of Economic and Community Development, Ann Krieg, and Assistant Solicitor Grace Innes. We thank them all for being here and helping us get this meeting going. It wouldn't happen without them. So let's just take care of old business this evening. First thing, board, we have meeting minutes from June 3rd, 2025. Any comments on the meeting? And if not, a motion to pass as is.
Move to approve.
Member Hume, and a second from Member Jonas. Thank you. A roll call vote on that. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
And Member Jonas?
Yes.
Unanimous of those that were present for that meeting. So moving on to introduction to new business. The planning board has two roles. First, we review amendments to the land development code, which typically include either changes to zoning districts or changes within the text of the code. There are none of those changes this evening, however, so I'm going to skip right by that. The second thing we do is we serve as the regulatory authority for the land development permits, commonly known as site plan review. We have two of those this evening. Site plans are reviewed to ensure compliance with city code as to parking, driveways, stormwater management, lighting, landscaping, etc. We also ensure the plan meets the dimensional requirements for the project's zoning district. We review larger site plans that trigger site location development for the main DEP as well. Some uses are conditional uses that have specific conditions and requirements we use to review the project. State statute also outlines the requirements for subdivision review, and the city has additional standards as to roadway and utility specifications. The board ultimately endorses a plan that will go to the Registry of Deeds if the plan is approved. There are two items, as I mentioned, on the agenda this evening that are land development permits. If you need more information on the city's codes and standards or the comprehensive plan, those may be found on the city's website. As far as the presentation goes this evening, for each agenda item, the applicant or their representative should come forward to the podium and provide a brief introduction to their proposal. Then we will ask them to stay at the podium while we consider any questions from staff members or from board members. Once the item has been presented, the applicant may be seated and we will allow time for public comments, if there are any. For public comments, the person should come forward to the podium, introduce themselves, state if they're a Bangor resident or in a butter to the property, and indicate if they are for or against the proposal. It is also helpful if you present your thoughts based upon the city's codes and standards or the comprehensive plan, as that is those are the primary documents that the board uses to make our decisions. If you are on Zoom this evening, please use the raised hand function to let us know you would like to speak, and we can bring you into the meeting. All comments and discussion should remain respectful and considerate of all others. Once public comments are completed, we will close that item to public comment. The board will then deliberate on the proposal using the applicable standards. For clarity, when considering land development proposals, the code standards are typically read individually and voted on separately. That makes it a little bit of a tedious process, but we've got it fairly well smoothed out. We'll try and move right through it. A final decision is then read and voted on. Once a project you are interested in has been approved or reviewed, whether it's approved or not, you may leave the meeting, but please be respectfully quiet so that you do not disturb the review of other agenda items. All right, so the first application we have for a land development permit, I did forget one other thing. Our code does state that you are allowed 7 board members for your decision. There are 6 of us this evening, so I need each applicant to stand up and tell me that they're acceptable to have a review this evening with 6 rather than 7 applicants. 6 rather than 7 board members. Typically, people do, but I don't want to push you in that direction. You have to get 4 affirmative votes one way or the other. Who wants to go first? Either one makes no difference. Sean?
Sean.
Just remember to state your name and where you stand on that.
Yeah, Sean Thies representing the applicant for the Trop Commercial Properties, and we're fine with 6 board members.
Thank you.
Hi, John Stewart with Pliskin Day, representing Brett Susi. We are totally fine with 6.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you doing that and getting that part out of the way. It's a quirk in our regulations that we do require. The first application is for a minor subdivision modification and major SLOTA modification for the division of the existing lot into 2 separate parcels of 5.2 and 3.1 acres each. This is at a property located at 1203 Broadway, map lot 061196 in the Shopping and Personal Services District. The applicant/owner is Trop Commercial Properties. Staff has indicated the completeness of this application and that it is ready for board review. Fees have been documented and paid. The applicant's standing is confirmed. Does the board have any concerns or questions with these issues or any concerns of conflict of interest? Seeing none, I do have one question for staff. We're calling this a minor subdivision modification, and I'm not sure I understand for sure that would be a minor rather than a major. So could you just help me understand that?
Typically with just a lot split like this, we treat it as a minor subdivision modification, treat it the same way as a minor subdivision. A major subdivision modification would be something like maybe adding more lots, like quite a few more lots, things like that. So.
And it doesn't matter the square footage?
No, not usually.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the completeness of this application? Member Jonas?
Chair, I move the application was deemed complete on July 1st, 2025. The applicant paid all applicable fees per our packet Exhibit 3. The proposed project is a minor subdivision modification, major SLOTA modification, and the plat was reviewed by the engineering department, and a written report was received from the city engineer on June 24th, 2025, per our packet Exhibit 26.
Excellent, thank you. Member Hume, you had your hand up as well. Do you want to second that?
Second.
Excellent, thank you. So roll call vote on the application completeness. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, so unanimous approval of the application completeness. So at this point, the applicant is welcome to come to the podium and give us a brief presentation on the project and to hang up here while we do questions and answers.
Sure. Good evening, Sean Thies with Haley Ward representing the applicant. The property is approximately 8.1 acres located at the corner of Broadway and Judson Heights Boulevard. We want to break the lot into 2 lots, essentially keeping the existing strip mall on one lot, approximately 5.2 acres, and then creating a second lot on vacant land of about 3.1 acres. Beyond that, it's pretty simple. Nothing's proposed at this time for construction on the new lot. It's a simple lot split. The only reason it's a subdivision is because the property is part of the previous Judson Heights subdivision. It's a lot within that, so it's an amendment to that subdivision.
Right. Thank you, Sean. Very simple, I agree. Hold up just for a second in case we have any other questions. Staff comments first?
I'll just point out the condition that we request that you all make, which was on the stormwater easement that they're providing to the city, and just requesting that be conditional on them finalizing and recording that within 90 days of planning board approval.
Yeah, excellent. And that is written already into the decision, correct? So we will see that when we get to that. Okay, board member questions of the applicant's representative? Seeing none?
I just reread the decision all of a sudden, and I had said prior to issuance of a certificate of occupancy, that should say within 90 days of planning board approval, just so you know when you get there.
Okay.
I have one question on that.
Sure, Sean, go ahead.
Is it the intention that the applicant records that easement? Because I know when working with the engineering department, we were providing a description and he was going to prepare the easement documents for
Yeah, it's more.
signature, so I didn't know who's, I guess, recording that.
I think that can be sorted out with engineering. I don't think the intent is to have the applicant necessarily do it since it is our easement, so I can clarify that in the final language.
Okay.
I think you could sit for right now. We'll open this up for public comment. So yes, I would open this up for any public comments that there might be on this particular project. Seeing none in the room, we will look to Zoom to see if there's anybody. I don't see anyone up on Zoom. Is there? Anya, can you tell?
We just have, we do have one person
Oh, yeah.
here, so, but I don't have their, if you have a comment, you can raise your hand.
Jefferson does. So Jefferson Davis is our city engineer. We invite him to join us and speak on the project.
It's a city engineer. City engineer.
You can go ahead and unmute Jeff.
He's muted. Asked to unmute.
Yeah, I did that.
Nothing happened.
I'm just gonna promote to panelist and see if that helps. Sorry, just give it a second, he'll join as panelist, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Jeff, can you hear us?
Oh, it looks like he's, are you there now, Jefferson?
No, it
Looks
looks like
like he,
Oh,
he left,
okay.
so
okay.
maybe he might just be hopping back in and he's fixing the
Okay.
line.
You can
Let's give it a second.
give him a second. I mean, he's the engineer too. We can pop him back in later if we can't get him in right now. Just before we vote.
He probably has a comment on the easement, so I don't know if you would rather move through the standards and then.
Yeah, so I think I'll do, just keep it moving. Like I say, I mean, it's not like it's open up to public either. This is city engineer, so I can bring him in. I can bring him in when we get to it.
Oh. There you go.
There he is again though, yeah, try it.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you go,
Yes.
Jefferson, you're.
Sorry about that. For some reason it wasn't working, so I had to shut down my iPad.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I was just gonna let everybody know I was on if there was any questions for me, and I was gonna let Sean know that Rich and I will draft some easement language and get it over to him. That's all I had.
Does that answer your question, Sean? Not exactly.
Not exactly, my
You
question.
wanna ask it again? please, just so.
Jeff, whose responsibility is to record that, I guess, once it's all
Oh.
finalized?
Yes, we'll do an engineer and we'll record it.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you.
Thank you, Jefferson. Appreciate your coming in and help us know with that. All right, so let's, I'm gonna close this to public comments. We have no other need for public comments on this particular item. And before we go to a motion on the rest of the standards, board members have any other concerns we should speak of? Seeing none, I'll move to the standards. So we'll start right with part one, requiring that the project meets section 165, 126, which is a minor subdivision, the minor subdivision requirements of the code. So can I get a motion on the first item? Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 5, and 10, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code 165-126F1 regarding compliance with state of Maine guidelines for subdivision approval contained in 30-A MRSA 4404.
Thank you. And Member Brush, you had your hand up
Yes,
too, so
second.
you second that. So we have a second on that as well. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Can I get a motion on item 2? Member Boucher?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project satisfies the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-126F 2 through 5 regarding the conformance to required lot dimensions and area one side of every lot abutting the existing improved public street, side of lot lines being at right angles into straight street lines, and corner lots having adequate width, permit required building setbacks from both streets.
Excellent, thank you. Second on that one? Member Hume, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, unanimous on item 2. Can I have a motion on item 3? Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-126F, Part 6, regarding the plat containing all information required in Article 165-126D 1 through 8.
Thank you. Member Hayes, you also had your hand up. Do you second that? Sure. Okay, thank you. So a second by Member Hayes. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So we have unanimous approval of all items under Part 1. Moving on to Part 2, which requires the project to meet Section 165-114 of the Land Development Code. Can I have a motion on the first item? Member Hume?
Chair, the board finds that based on the findings made in Part 1 of Section 4 of this document, as well as Exhibits 2, 5, and 10, the project satisfies the requirements of the Land Development Code 165-114A regarding subdivisions.
Thank you. And a second on that one? Member Hayes, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion on item 2? Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibits 2, 5, and 8 through 11, the project satisfies the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-114J, regarding meeting the provisions of 38 MRSA, Section 484, and Department of Environmental Protection Regulations, Chapters 371 through 373, 375 through 377, and 500.
Thank you. And Member Jonas, you had your hand up as well, so second on that from Member Jonas. Thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that's unanimous approval of the 2 items under Part 2. So that takes us to the decision, with a reminder to the board that there's a little bit of change there on the bottom, in that the easement should be recorded 90 days after planning board approval. So could I have A motion on the decision, Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, I move that the board finds that the project meets the requirements for a land development permit for a minor subdivision modification and major SLOTA modification, and therefore the board grants the land development permit for the proposed project with the condition that the stormwater utility easement to the city be finalized with the city and recorded at the registry of deeds prior to the issuance of a certificate of
No.
occupancy. No,
90 days.
No, I know that here we wanted it 90 days, but. there's
Yeah, it's
a
an error
difference
in the,
wording, huh?
it's an error in the language there.
Okay, so we,
Instead of
so
prior to the
I
issuance.
amend my comment to say that the staff, that the planning board conditions of approval require that the easement be finalized and recorded at the registry of deeds within 90 days of planning board approval.
Correct, rather than prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the confusion, but that's good. Member Jonas had your hand up, you second on that one as well. So roll call vote on that. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So unanimous approval of all items there and a decision on that as well. So you're all set to move forward with that.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you, Sean. Appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, we will move on to the second item we have this evening. And that is a land development permit for minor site development, minor subdivision, and conditional use for the addition of residential units and reconfiguration of parking at property located at 200 and 210 State Street, which is map lots 048, 256A, and 048, 256 in the Urban Service District. The applicant is Brett Susi, the owner is Bernard Miller, and before I get you up, I'm sorry, I will say that staff has indicated the completeness of this application and is ready for board review. Fees have been documented and paid. The applicant's standing is confirmed. Does the board have any questions or concerns about the application's completeness or any conflicts of interest concerns? Seeing none, I would look for a motion on the procedural background of this one. Member Jonas?
Chair, I move that the application was deemed complete today on July 1st, 2025. The applicant paid all applicable fees for Exhibit 3 on our packet. The proposed project is a major site development, minor subdivision, and a conditional use. And the plat was reviewed by the engineering department. A written report was received from the city engineer on June 24th, 2025 per Exhibit 26 in our packet.
Excellent, thank you. And a second by Member Boucher, thank you. So roll call vote on that. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So we approve the application's completeness, which moves us down to having an applicant or their representative come on up and just give us a brief introduction, presentation of the project, and then answer any questions we might have. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm John Stewart from Pliskin Day, excited to be here tonight, and not just because of the air conditioning. Brett grew up in this neighborhood, I grew up in this neighborhood, so it's kind of exciting to see some transition of a generational business. Obviously, Miller Drug has been a landmark in this community for years and years and years, decades. And it's really exciting to have Brett get involved in this project, and I was honored to assist him through this process. Basically, at 200, 210 State Street, there used to be a lot of buildings there. There used to be a dry cleaner, there used to be another apartment building, and then the Miller Drug that we've all probably been through and found our way at some point to get whatever we need off the shelf. There was a hair salon in the back area. Miller Drug kind of ballooned. Some of those original uses disappeared over time, and then Miller Drug just kind of went away and went to Northern Light, and they're doing great things down by the hospital now, but left this building vacant. So Brett saw his community, saw his neighborhood, and said, I'd like to do something there that can help the community. And what he's looking at is a proposed total of 8 apartments, and also potentially some small retail space, including possibility of a small ice cream stand right near the parking lot there. And in case you didn't know, Mr. Susi also owns Frank's Bakery right across the street. So there is kind of a connection that this is his neighborhood. He grew up there, he works there, employs people there, really cares about what's going on across the street. So our first visits with the planning department started quite a while ago. Ms. Collette's been very patient with me in getting some of these hoops to jump through. There's a few things that are involved here. The affordable housing density bonus, I don't know how many of you have that right in the top of your data bank, but that was an option that really allowed Mr. Susi to go in and instead of having 4 or 5 apartments, really be able to go to 8 apartments and make this kind of viable. And historically, it was kind of interesting, that building had 4 units on the top floor,
3 up top.
at least 3 that were already constructed, but then they got kind of, as Miller Drug grew, those got taken away. So it's really interesting, the building has some character and some bones for this kind of evolution to be transitioned into residential use again. Plus you've got the school right behind it, Abraham Lincoln School is right behind it. It's right adjacent to Forest Avenue, it's within walking distance of downtown. It's just, and also walking distance of the hospital. So I think it would be a very viable place for somebody, a young person coming to the community to be able to have an apartment and be able to get to work. So I have a narrative that outlines a lot of the details of the chapter and verse of what we're trying to do here. There's also several exhibits that add extra things about traffic and the plumbing and how many fixtures and all those types of questions. Happy to answer questions specifically about those things. Sure. Gary Frost, the architect for Brett, is here tonight as well in case there was anything specific just about the details. They've already started the planning part of this. With the purpose that they needed to know that they could do this, they needed to know that they get approval before they actually bought the property. So that's why Mr. Miller is still the owner of the property. Sure. This approval hopefully will spur them to get to closing very quickly, as I'm sure they're anxious to get started and get busy with it. But I'm certainly willing to answer any questions that you may have or additional supplements or conditions
Sure.
that you need to answer. I'm right here.
Okay, thank you. Well, hang on up if you would for just a second. We do get a great file of information from Anya and those folks, and the board has that in their packets, and they've had an opportunity, I think, to look at most of that, if not all of it. But before I get to that, staff have any comments on this one?
Just, yeah, I'll go over the conditions again. This one we requested 3. The first being that they execute an agreement, the Affordable Housing Density Bonus Agreement with the city. That gets approved by us, and then they have to record it at the registry prior to getting their certificate of occupancy. Also, since technically this still is on 2 separate lots, we recommend that it be conditioned on those lots being combined. And then also, the water district had requested that the water line going to the main building be upsized. So they did add a note on the plans for that, but we just also wanted to have a condition that they do that before they get their CO.
Right.
So.
Thank you. And that is correct on that one. We have that condition. We have all those conditions for the board's information. It's part of the decision that we have in our packet. And that is correct with the need for that easement to be, is it an easement? No, it's agreement, to be recorded with the Registry of Deeds prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Okay, so that's correct. Excellent, thank you. So with that, do board members have any questions for the applicant's representative? Seeing none, I'm going to ask you to sit and we'll get to public comments.
I just want to say that we're happy to conform to those, the applicant is happy to conform to those agreements and work with Mr. Subject and Ms. Innes to get that agreement in place.
Excellent, thank you, appreciate that, yep, very much. We're excited about the project. So let's open this up to public comments. Do we have public comments this evening? Sir, you in the back? No, you're just visiting? Okay, that's fine. Anyone on Zoom, a raise of hand? If not, we will close this to public comments. And so with no further concerns, unless the board members have any questions, or yes,
I
Member
just want to
Jonas?
make a comment that I really appreciate your desire to bring affordable housing to the city of Bangor. That for you to accept the affordable housing density requirements means a lot, and thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member comments before we get to the standards? If not, we'll go right to those. So I would look for a motion on item 1 of part 1, which part 1 requires the project to meet the requirements of articles 2 through 12. Yes, Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-72, requiring adequate parking spaces and a minimum of 1 handicap accessible space.
Thank you, and Member Boucher, you had your hand up too, so a second on that as well. Thank you. Roll call vote, Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on that, so unanimous on item 1 of part 1. Item 2 of part 1, can I get a motion on that one? Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibits 2 and 5, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code 165-79 and 80, requiring adequate connection to necessary utilities, including public water and sewer when possible.
And do I have a second on that? Member Hayes, your hand was up first. Thank you. Before I get to a roll call vote, I do have a question on that, and I apologize for not asking it earlier. There was a whole lot in there about the propane tanks and all that sort of thing, and I assume, but it would be great if you could just say so. Natural gas is either not close enough or is too expensive to connect to make it not worthwhile? Would that be the situation, or?
I think the initial look at this property was to try to minimize the improvements that were being done, just to kind of get things rolling. The easy ask concern was the propane tanks in the back building or in front of the building where maybe potentially cars are going to be coming in, rather than put some kind of concrete wall there. It's easy enough, just move them on the side.
Move around the side.
So that's what they're going to do. I'm sure long-term, if gas continues to be the supplyable, viable source, there's a gas main that runs right down that
Right down the
sidewalk on
street,
State Street.
yeah.
So I don't think it would be very hard to ask to talk to Bangor Gas, but I'm sure economics, Mr. Susi.
And that's understandable. I wanted to ask. Yeah.
Good question.
Okay, thank you. So I have, we are on item 2 of part 1, and I'm sorry for sort of interrupting that, and I have a motion and a second, so a roll call vote on this one. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, so unanimous approval of item 2. Can I get a motion on item 3? Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibits 2, 5, and 20, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-82, requiring adequate fire protection.
Thank you, and a second on this one? Member Hume, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous approval of item 3. Moving on to item 4. Can I have a motion on item 4? Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied the Land Development Code Section 165-83 requiring adequate electrical services.
Thank you. And a second. Member Jonas, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion on item 5. Member Hayes. Member Jones, I'm sorry.
Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibits 10 and 19, the applicant satisfied the Land Development Code, Section 165-85 and Section 165-86, requiring compliance with submitting information on anticipated sanitary flows and compliance with sewer regulations.
Thank you. And a second, Member Boucher, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So unanimous approval of 5 items in part 1. So moving on to part 2, which requires the project to meet the requirements of 165-92 Urban Service District. Motion on item 1, Member Boucher?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on the findings made in part 1 of section 4 of this document, as well as exhibits 2 and 5, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-92B for uses within the Urban Service District USD.
Thank you. A second on this one? Member Hume, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous on item 1 of part 2. Motion on item 2 of part 2. Member Hume?
Yeah, Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibits 2 and 5, the applicant satisfied the use conditions for a mixed residential and commercial use, including lot area requirements for residential units, impervious surface limit, and affordable housing density bonus applicability.
Thank you. And a second on that one, Member Boucher. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So that's unanimous on the 2 items of part 2. Moving on to part 3, which requires the project to meet the criteria for a subdivision of land under Article 18. Can I have a motion on this one item? Member Boucher?
I move the board finds that based on the findings made in part 2 of section 4 of this document, as well as exhibits 2 and 5, the project satisfies the requirements of a minor subdivision, including compliance with state statute 30 AMRSA, section 4404, conformance to existing zoning regulations, and the inclusion in the subdivision plat of the information required in section 165-126D of the Land Development Code where applicable.
Thank you. And a second on this one. Member Brush, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous on part 3. Moving on to part 5, which requires the project to meet item 165, section 165-114 of Land Development Standards. Motion on item 1. Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on the findings made in part 3 of section 4 of this document, the applicant satisfied the requirements of Land Development Code, section 165-114A regarding compliance with 30-A MRSA, section 4404.
Thank you. And a second from Member Brush. You had your hand up, so thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion on item 2 of part 5. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-114B through C regarding the proposed parking and loading layout and the proposed access drives from the site to any public right-of-way being arranged in a reasonable and safe configuration.
Thank you. And a second on this one. Member Hume?
Second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous on item 2. Motion on item 3 of part 5. Member Hume?
Yeah, Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code, Section 165-114F requirements for landscaping, tree preservation, and species type for plantings.
Thank you. And a second on that. Member Hayes, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. That's unanimous approval of the 3 items of part 5. Moving on to Part 6, which requires the project to meet the criteria for a conditional use under Section 165-9A. I have a motion on the first of those items. Member Brush.
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on the findings made in Part 2 of Section 4 of this document, as well as based on a review of Exhibit 2, the project meets the standards and use conditions of the district in which the property in question is located, the Urban Service District, and that there are not any variance requirements or other standards that would impede the granting of the permit.
Thank you. And a second from Member Hume. Thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous on item 1. Motion on item 2 of Part 6. Member Hume?
Chair, I move that the board finds based on Exhibits 5 and 8 that the project will not create unreasonable traffic congestion or hazardous conditions on contiguous or adjacent streets.
Thank you. Member Hayes, you had your hand up as well. You had a second on that one?
Yep.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Unanimous on item 2 of Part 6. Moving on to a motion on item 3 of Part 6. Member Hume?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on findings made in Part 1 of Section 4 of this document, as well as Exhibits 2, 5, 19, and 20, that the proper operation of the conditional use will be ensured by providing and maintaining adequate utilities, fire protection, drainage, parking and loading, and other necessary site improvements.
Thank you. A second on this one. Member Brush, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Let's see where that puts us. I need a motion on item 4, Part 6. Member Boucher?
Chair, I move that the board finds, based on Exhibit 5, that the proposed use, although not appropriate for every site in the zone, is appropriate for the location for which it is sought, because the proposed use will conform to the general physical development pattern of the immediate area as to architectural style, building bulk and extent, and intensity of site use.
Thank you. A second on this one. Member Jonas, thank you. Roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. That's unanimous on all of the standards leading up to a decision. And so I would like a motion on the decision. Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, I move that the board finds that the project meets the requirements for a land development permit for a major site development, minor subdivision, and a conditional use, and therefore grants the land development permit for the proposed project with the following conditions. 1, that an affordable housing agreement is executed with the city according to the requirements of Article 21 of the Land Development Code, and that the agreement is recorded at the Registry of Deeds prior to issuance of a certificate of occupancy. 2, that a deed to combine map lots 048-256 and 048-256A be recorded at the registry prior to issuance of a building permit. And 3, that the water line of the primary building on map lot 048-256 be upsized in accordance with Bangor Water District standards and subject to Water District approval prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy.
There's a lot of words. Member Jonas with a second on that. Thank you both. And a roll call vote. Member Boucher?
Yes.
Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hume?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, which gives you approval of your application. It may seem like a tedious process we go through, but it speaks to the quality of the application that we didn't have a lot of tough questions for you tonight. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you guys, appreciate the time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Look forward to ice
Thank
cream.
you too for your patience with us. A lot of questions back and forth at the beginning, but
No problem.
yeah, good luck with the baby.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, we're done the land development permit applications for this evening. You folks are free to go, certainly. And This moves on to other business for the evening, which starts with follow-up on thoughts on the land development code and land use planning. Anya had noted that we have the technical report coming with changes to the land development code sometime soon. And they're planning to review this with the planning board. The consultants are planning to review this with the planning board and the Business and Economic Development Committee either on July 21st or August 4th at the committee's regularly scheduled meeting.
It's changed a little bit.
Yep, please.
Yeah, so just, we were able to confirm the timeline today. So first, we're giving an update to Business and Economic Development next week, just to let them know that this is gonna be out. We will be putting it in their packet so you can see it if you look at their packet for next week. And then we'll be sending it to you officially via email, and then also putting it on the website and directing the public to it. And then we'll be having, at the end of August, the meeting with you all and council simultaneously to go over it. They'll be giving you a presentation and then getting your feedback. And then the next day, on August 26th, I don't remember, did I just say the date? August 25th is the council workshop for you all. And then August 26th will be 2 public meetings where they'll be doing the same presentation and getting public feedback. So the delay is that they wanted people to have enough time to really review this report and really think of some feedback before we actually get feedback. So that is the plan. So hopefully by next Tuesday, we'll be able to send that out to everybody and do our outreach.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Question, board members? I mean, any of those things that you don't like or that kind of grind at you or whatever that, you know, the code has, the code's messy. You guys know that. But we make it work and we're hoping to get it better.
I would bring up, and I think it's probably been expressed, and I certainly can express it to the consultants at some point, but I would bring up, I will probably never forget former board member Dawn Mahar's constant complaining about 165.9.4, which we didn't get into today because we didn't need to get into it, but it speaks to the general physical development of the area around a project. It became a real problem on one of the projects we reviewed a couple of years ago because it's very interpretive. And I don't know if they're going to tackle that, but I feel like I would be doing Dawn a misservice if I didn't bring that up, because it is a real difficult problem when we get into particularly that sort of approval, residential approval where you have a real mixed use can be troublesome. What is typical for that area? And what can we say is typical so that we are satisfied to approve it? It gets messy quick. And we struggle with that for a lot of time.
I think one change that may help, and this is all, open to change, but I just feel like one change that might be proposed from this is making things like this more permanently, right? In zones like USD, rather than having to be conditional, which may help with that. But I did make a note to add, make sure they look at the conditional use standards when we do the update.
Yep.
So.
Good.
Chair?
Yes, Member
I
Jones.
will also say that it took me a really long time today, I'm gonna admit this, to figure out to find the impervious surface ratios required for the first case we saw today, because I had to go through a whole bunch of other things. So having either links or embedded in our actual code where those tables are would be really helpful, because it took me a long time to find it.
I think you'll see when you get the report that it's gonna be a complete overhaul, so things will be a lot more clear and not so I don't know what the right word is,
Random?
but going all over the place. So it should be a lot easier to find things like that
Good,
with the
thank you,
proposed format, yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I have to agree, when when I looked for, I asked the question about minor subdivision earlier, when I looked to find the definition of minor subdivision, I found that fairly easily, but then to find out what the difference is between a minor subdivision and a major subdivision is quite a bit further back in the code and hard to find. I got there, but it's hard to find it,
Well,
and so,
I was looking for the impervious ratio because I felt like when we did that subdivision earlier today, I was afraid that the new one might be, that the existing property would be over the ratio, it's
Yeah.
just under, and I almost brought that up, but I didn't, but, yeah. But it took me a while to dig through the appendices to the
Yeah.
extra code, to a different place in our code
Yeah.
to find it, so.
yeah, I meant what I said to them this evening, I mean, I found, looking at some of those things, that at first, like, I couldn't figure out where the handicap parking spot was, but then when I got looking, sure enough, they had addressed it. Some of that stuff, they did a lot of that stuff later, so it wasn't in maybe the first submittal that they had, but they'd worked through, the water line was another one that got worked through, because it clearly was too small. There was a lot of work they put into it to make it right, which I feel like was built into a lot of those memos back and forth amongst the staff, so that's a good thing. Any other comments on, yes?
Just one
Member
more
Jonas.
thing, Bernie Copus was here tonight, I know him through senior college, but one of the things that he and I were talking about earlier is how lucky and fortunate we are to have the staff that we have.
Yeah.
To help us through and navigate all of this. Member Boucher has said it before, we see it every time we go out and we talk about what we do amongst our peers. We are so fortunate for this
Yep,
staff.
yep.
And how well they prepare us to make these
Yep.
meetings go as smoothly as they do.
Could you say his name again, just because I don't know if you said,
Bernie Kovitz,
okay. Just because she may want to put that in the minutes, so I didn't catch it. Thank you. Okay, if there's no other comments on that or any other comments on anything, we do need to sign some documents before we leave here.
Yes, so we have the two subdivision plans from tonight, and then also 1593 Essex Street, they need another of their plans signed. So that's the third plan that's over there.
So how many things do we have to sign?
I was
3?
guessing that he
Well,
was here because he
three
was in front of
plans,
building
but
knowledge.
there's two copies of the two subdivision
guess.
plans that need to be signed, and then one copy of the 1593 Essex Street plan.
Okay,
So,
so make sure you sign everything.
3 things.
yes, but 5 total copies. So,
5 signatures.
yes.
My hand hurts already.
I will note on the Essex Street one, they gave us the older copy that didn't have the signature block. I'm gonna see if it's okay if you all can sign, and then we put planning
Put a
board
block
approval.
around it, yeah.
I don't know if it's going to, and if not, we'll have them submit the correct one and then have you re-sign it. But that was their fault, so.
Okay, thank you. So with that, no further comments from anyone. It is 7:54 and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.